Hey there, real quick, before we begin, you're about to watch a live stream, which means you're really kind of behind the scenes here because these lessons are usually watched in the archives, but you're here for the live taping of them. So if we mess up really bad, we're probably going to chop that out, but you're going to get to see all of our bloopers and mistakes. We'll also chop this off, so no one is going to see this part of the lesson but you. And because you're behind the scenes, you're probably going to ignore my instructions when I say, like, pause the video and go practice or whatever. You can if you want. It's just that everyone in the chat room then will be in different places in the video. That's fine. When you want to join us live again, go down to the bottom of the video, click on the live button, and that should take you straight to where we actually are now. So now here comes the part for everybody else. I'm really glad you're with us. The archives are fine, but my favorite is talking to you live. So see you in the chat room. Welcome back to KidsLearnPianoLive.com. My name is Jamin, and as you can tell from the countdown clock here, the lesson is about to begin. If this is your first time playing piano, welcome. I'm very excited for you. You're going to do great. Hopefully you already received from us the welcome packet in the mail, and maybe you even got started on the Absolute Beginners video pack to teach you the names of the notes and things like that. But if not, that's fine. You'll do great. I'll show you how to play all the notes. And if I'm going too fast for you, you can always pause the video or rewind it and go over the more difficult parts. You can always pause the video or rewind it and go over the more difficult parts. And even if you only learn a little bit of this song and you don't learn the whole thing, you'll still learn enough to help you build skills so you can learn other songs faster in the future. So jump in, give it a try. You're bound to end up at least a little bit better than you even are right now. Throughout the lesson, I may refer to Clapple Academy, and you can check out that link on the website if you want. Basically, it's a program that takes you all the way from learning the names of the notes, the very beginning, through 12 levels of classical and jazz music, through all the skills that you would need to become a professional pianist. So you would learn all the same stuff that you would learn if you're taking regular traditional piano lessons, probably plus a little bit more, but it takes about 5 to 10 years to complete. So you can just try out the first level, see if it's the kind of thing that you like, or if you just care about today's lesson and learning this song, then just ignore all those references and focus on today's lesson. If you're watching this at LearnPianoLive.com, there should be a PDF and an MP3 button right next to this video. The MP3 is a play-along track that you can use to practice more after the lesson, but a lot of students like to print out the PDF right now so they have it during the lesson. Careful, it could be up to like 30 pages, so just find the couple pages that you want and print those out. If you decide not to, that's fine. I'll show you all of the notes on screen as we go through it. And we will be going through 5 different levels of this song that all use the same play-along track. So even if you've never played piano before, you'll still be able to do level 1. And then as we go through level 2, 3, 4, and 5, then when we use that same play-along track, you just keep playing your same version. If you're watching this lesson in the archives and you have a question during the lesson, then feel free to click on that survey button. And at the end of the survey, there's a place for you to ask your question, and I will do my best to get back to you with the answer to that question. But if you're with us live as we're recording this today, then feel free to click on that chat button, and you can talk with all the other students who are logged in during the live lesson. And if you have a question about the lesson, then you can just go ahead and type that into the box that says, Ask Jamin a question, and we will do our best to answer that question live in the lesson. All right, I think that's the end of the boring stuff. I'm ready to learn a song. Stay tuned at the end of the lesson and I'll show you how to win more points and earn more prizes next week. But for right now, let's get this party started. Welcome back to KidsLearnPianoLive.com. My name is Jamin, and this is the incomparable Kendra moderating the chat room.
Guess what? I got to perform my first gig in like forever, a couple days ago.
Wait,
so.
in how long? I was under the impression you've been playing this whole time.
No, I haven't had like an actual gig where I like go somewhere and perform. And
because of the corona.
Yep.
Okay.
Because of the corona.
Yeah. So you went and played.
I had my first one.
Did you make money?
I did make some money. Yeah.
Cool. Music is fun.
It is.
Music plus money is
better.
Maybe. Yeah. Cool.
Yeah.
That's fantastic. Congratulations.
Tk you.
And a gig is just like where you go and you play music and
Right.
you make money. So yeah,
Yeah.
that's just like the
I get
fancy,
tips.
not fancy way of saying it.
Right.
Cool.
Yeah.
Well, let's dive into the. Hey, buddy, good to see you, man. So yeah, he's wanting to move along, and I'm wanting to move along. This is a really pretty song that we're gonna learn today. It's from Seussical the Musical, probably the last one, unfortunately, from that musical that we'll be doing because we've done a lot of Seussical songs already. But listen to this. This is how it's gonna go eventually. It's gonna sound like this: 1 and a 2 and a 1, 2, 3, 4, and. It's kind of cheesy, but the songs from this musical are really encouraging songs. I like when I listen to them, I'm like, oh yeah, that's so true. Anyway, enough of that. Let's get into the notes. We've got a B is the note we want to start on, and a B is actually pretty easy to find. All you got to do is find a group of 3 black notes, like those ones right there, or those ones right there. Any group of 3 black notes, and I'm gonna pick this one right here to be my highest of my group of 3, and I'm just gonna drag it up and land on a B. Then that works for with every single set of 3. So even if you pick like this set of 3 down here, take the highest one, the one to the right, and drag it up, and you would land on a B. So no matter what group of 3 you pick, if you take the top note and you drag it up, you land on a B. And so we're gonna play that note. And of course, if that's a B, then the note right next to it should be a C. So we're gonna play a B, and then we're gonna play a C, and those will be our first 2 notes. And as always, we wanna make sure that we say the words as we play them. So the B is, we're gonna say the word I, and on the C, we're gonna say have. So you were thinking B and C, but what we're really saying out loud is I have. Now, what we need to do is, if this is a B, then this one right here would be an A, the one right next to B, because it's the alphabet, A, B, C. But what's tricky is the note before an A is a G. So we want a G next while we say the word wings, but you don't have to worry about like going backwards to the alphabet and stuff. You can just go from I have and skip over 2 notes and you'll land on a G. So you don't have to worry about the alphabet there. So we're gonna go, I have wings. Try that with me. Get ready on that B, and we're gonna play I, and then have, and then skip over 2 notes, and then down here is gonna be wings. So I have wings. Those 3 notes are gonna be really important because we're gonna reuse them all over the place. Like right there, round the moon, and one day soon. So like the beginning of all these lines is this BCG thing. So the next thing we're gonna do after that is go all the way down to a C. So a couple different ways to do that. Either one, you can take that note that you just landed on for wings, and you can go down 1, 2, 3, 4 notes, and you land on a C. Or if you want to, you can take a look at this one. We just played a C up here, and if we know that that's a C right underneath a group of 2 black notes, then we know underneath this group of 2 black notes, that's also gonna be a C. So you can just look by the pattern of the black notes and go that way. So this is a C, and this is a C. So that's the C that we want, because as you can see, this C right here and this C right here are not the same C. This C right here is way, way higher than this C right here. This one is way, way lower. So we want the low C for the word and. So we're gonna have I have wings, and then all the way down to this C. So we play the low C. So that's, hopefully you can kind of like follow the ups and the downs of the notes and tell whether you're supposed to be going up to a C or down to a C. And you can see from here, we're supposed to go up to a G. And hopefully you can tell that that G and that G are the same exact G. So the G that you were playing before, that one right there, that's gonna be the same note. And then if you just go down 1 note and then down 1 note, you'll have the next 2 words, can fly. So that's G, F, E, but you don't have to worry about the letters. You can just go to the G and go down 1 note and go down 1 note, and you'll be landing on the right letters. So once more, that's I have wings and I can fly. Play that low C 1 more time for the word and then you just get to do the exact same thing. Around the moon. That's those same 3 notes coming back. Let's just try that much with the track though. Just get all the notes that you can. If you're watching this in the archives, and make sure you pause the video and you practice so that you can get ready and play that entire first line with us. But if you're live with us, just get all the notes you can and don't worry about the rest. The track's gonna go like this. 1 and a 2 and a 1, 2, ready, go. I have wings and I can fly around the moon. So it goes kind of fast, but you'll get the hang of it. And then these ones right here are tricky too, these low C's. So if you need to right now, you can just ignore those ones and not say the word and not say the word and then you can do the rest of those notes. That'll be way easier. Let me show you the rest of these ones here because I know Kloppel's probably getting pretty impatient here. We need this low C is going to show up again, and the notes right next to it are a D and E. And that E right there is the same one we're going to start the phrase on if you want to play that and. If you want to, you can get rid of it. But if you want to play that one, it'd be that E right there. And far beyond is C, D, E. So that phrase right there is and far beyond, and then you're just gonna go straight back down. The same way you came up, C, D, E, you can go the exact same thing, straight down. Beyond the sky. And then we have the exact same thing we had before, and one day soon, that's that same B, C, G coming back again. So, all of that together with the track would sound like... Okay, let me show you the rest of these notes and then we'll play it one last time through. Yeah, yikes, we've got a lot of notes to do. Okay, so we're gonna play this once with the track. I'm gonna show you the rest of the notes and then we'll play our last time through. Sorry, Kloppel, we just have a lot of notes in the song. Here we go. 1 and a 2 and a 1, 2, ready, go. And I have wings and I can fly around the moon and far beyond the sky. And one day soon. Now, we got this weird symbol right here. This looks to me like a half of a heart, like that would be a heart, but there's only a half of a heart, and then it has like a string attached to it, whatever. That's called a flat sign. That means they're about to lie to you. They're about to tell you, play a B, but that's a lie. Don't actually play a B. Play the note that's slightly lower, slightly flatter than a B. So that's a B right there. This note is called a B flat, which means play this note right here, the one that's slightly lower than a B. So we're gonna play a G, and then an A, and then up to a B flat right there, and then up to a G, or up to a C, sorry, and then down to G. So those are all notes that you had before. Then this right here is the phrase that you're probably most familiar with if you know the song. It's just gonna go G straight down to C. So if you play this with me, if you already have all the rest of it, then play this with me. We're gonna play G, F, E, D, C, straight down from G all the way down to C. If you have that much of it, you have almost all of it with the exception of this one weirdo right here, this E. So we're gonna go down, and before we hit that last C, we're gonna have a little hiccup. We're gonna go up first and then come down, just like a little accident right there. So we're gonna go G, F, E, D, but before you play the last note, go the wrong direction, up to E, and then down to C. So we play a couple G's at the beginning for one small, and then go straight down, but then before you hit that last C, go the wrong direction and then hit C. And that would be one small, voice in the universe. And the exact same thing for these words, same notes, different words. One, true, friend in the universe. And then right here, this is gonna be the exact same thing you just played, except not starting on G, starting on F. Who believes, so we're starting on F, we're gonna go straight down, but then we're gonna change directions, go the wrong way before we finally land on that F. So that thing right there is the exact same thing as that thing right there. It's like the last part of that without the G in there. So these last 3 phrases right here, 1 phrase, 2 phrase, 3 phrases, these are basically the same thing. And up at the top, we've got that thing that shows up over and over and over. So if you learn those 2 phrases, you almost have the whole song. It'll still take some time to practice. So make sure if you're in the archives, again, you're pausing the video and practicing wherever you need to. And then you can keep trying this as many times as you want. If you're with us live, get all the notes that you can. Don't worry about the rest. Just play along whatever version you have. Here we go. and a 2, and a 1, 2, ready, go. And I have wings, and I can fly around the moon and far beyond the sky. And one day soon, I know there you'll be. Here's that last phrase. One small voice in the universe, one true friend in the universe, who believes in me. So we'll get to practice that more on level 2, 3, 4, and 5. But for right now, Kendra, tell us about our weekly activity.
This week is the treble clef spelling, and if you write the names of the notes, they all spell words. Find the words and tag Learn Piano Live when you post a picture on Facebook or Instagram for an extra 150 bonus points from our mascot penguin Clopple.
And that's an especially great one if you're wanting to work on getting to level 2. And for right now, it's time to do our feature of the day. Today we're going to play a game called Major or Minor. So I'm going to play 2 chords for you. One of them is going to be major, one of them is going to be minor, and you have to tell me, is the first one major or is the second one major? So let me play a couple of them for you in case you've never heard of this before. This right here would be called a major chord. And it generally sounds pretty stable and happy and like, I don't know, just joyful. Then we have the minor chords, and the minor chords sound like this, and generally they sound kind of dark and sad and scary and depressed and lonely. So you're gonna have to tell me, does the chord that I play sound happy or sad? Okay, so here we go. It sounds like it's gonna be pretty simple, but this can get a little bit complicated. Let me play this one for you here, and you tell me, does this sound like this is gonna be happy or sad? What do you think? You're gonna guess at home, and Kendra's gonna take her guess. She's pretty good at this. So see if you can get more right than she does. What's that?
Can I take off the keys?
Oh, not yet. That's all right.
Okay.
If they already know what this chord is, then they're probably already able to tell even from the sound of it. But what do you think? Major or minor? This one? Yeah,
Yes.
I told you the rules, and then I played an entirely different game. I'm supposed to play 2 chords for you.
I'm so confused.
Oops. Yeah, I know. Well, it's confusing when someone's like, hey, let's play basketball, and then they pull out a football. Because that's a different game. Sorry. Okay, so, yeah. So I'm going to play 2 chords for you. You're going to tell me which one is major, the first one or the second one. Let's actually play that game this time. So here's your first chord. And here's your second chord. Which one of those sounds like it's major? Is it this chord? Or is it this one? Which one of those sounds like it's major? The first one or the second one, Kendra?
The first one.
The first one is the major one. Yes. Good job. That's our major chord. Now let's try this thing. Okay. This one right here? Or this one? What do you think? The first one or the second one? Which one's the major one? The second one?
Yeah.
Is major. It's tricky because that one's really low, and so usually the lower we go, the scarier and darker it sounds. And so a lot of people would guess that one's the minor one because it sounds lower, but it is actually the happy one. Yeah, this one right was the sad one. So yeah, okay, cool. Let's do one more of these. I'm gonna play 2 chords for you.
The keys
Yeah, sure. For people who are really good at chords.
I have the camera all set up.
I know. Yes.
Very
okay.
excited.
Here we go.
Okay.
So there are some students who are very good at chords, so they would be able to tell whether they're major and minor just by looking at them. So there's this thing right here, and there's this one. Which one of those is major?
Well, the first one made me feel like really sad. Like I was like, this isn't like a rainy. Actually, I love rainy days. So
Yeah.
it's irrelevant.
Yeah,
But
but
the
like
second one. Sorry.
Yeah.
I'll get to
The second one would be the major one. Yeah. It feels more sunny. And this one feels more rainy, more cozy. Hey, there we go. That's the first nice word I've ever heard a piano teacher use for a minor chord. It sounds cozy. Yeah, cool. Well, that was major or minor, and also a couple other games that we weren't supposed to play. And now it's time for Mailbag.
If you you'd like to win an extra 750 points by being the Mailbag winner, just fill out the survey at the end of the lesson, or send us a message anytime during the week using the contact button at the top of the page.
And today it's from Jay Garabine, who says, Dear Jamin, how can I ask a question during the live lesson? Well, if you're in the archives, watching a live lesson in the archives, and you need to fill out the survey whenever you can fill it out at the end of the lesson or at the beginning of the lesson, and then I'll answer your questions there. But if you're in the live lesson, like while we're broadcasting it, then you can just ask that in the chat room. So the chat room does not work, just like the live lesson room. It does not work if we're not doing a live lesson. So that's the only way to ask a question in the actual live lesson. But if you're watching a live lesson in the archives, just fill out the survey at the end, and I don't think that's really much of a secret, but we do have some stuff today that is secret information.
Secret information.
And today, our secret information is... right. Yes, okay. So once we get to level 2 on this song, you're going to get to see, I'm going to need to see the PDF for this. You're going to get to see the notes for this thing. And we have this weird thing called a dotted eighth note. So if you could throw those that PDF for me, I'd appreciate them. Then we'll... the dotted eighth notes, these things are kind of weird. They kind of feel off balance. And whenever you see one of these things, it's an eighth note. So it's got this bar on it, but it also has this dot on it. Those things feel really, really off balance. So that's why, like when we play that first thing, ba, 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 a lot of people hear that and they think, oh, that's that off balance thing. That's a triplet. It's not. These things feel like triplets, but they're not. They're just a little bit slightly different. The first two are almost a triplet, but then the last one always throws it off, because whenever you have dotted eighth notes, almost always the third one is not a dotted one. So you can see this one right here does not have a dot on it like the others. So that's how you tell the difference between triplets and dotted eighths, is they both feel super off balance, but the dotted eighth, we're gonna have that last one that's just slightly shorter. It doesn't have a dot on it. The other thing that's in our secret information folder that not everybody has to know, but some people know that if you, okay, so this is actually, let's go back to level 1. I tried to like kind of hint at this before, but I didn't actually say it out loud. Back here, what you can do in a lot of songs, especially if they're really difficult and you're having a hard time jumping around, is just take out the extreme notes. So like if we go back to this line right here, this is what I would do if I were you, especially if this is your first time like doing a song or whatever. Then most teachers won't let you do this, but I would totally do this. Shh. What I would do is just take out the highest and the lowest notes anytime you have something, like if you got something like these are pretty close to each other, but then it jumps way down and then just jumps back up, I just get rid of the hard ones. Like whenever you have to jump a big distance, if you're jumping a big distance and then coming back, just get rid of it. And then like you could get rid of that one, and you can get rid of this one right here. Like any of the really high notes or the really low notes, whenever you have to play like ba, 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 if that one's just like got one single note way out really, really low or really high, just take it out. It makes it a lot easier. So I just take a look at the line, especially if I'm working with someone like who hasn't played a whole lot of piano before. I just take a look at the line, even if I've never seen the song before. I just go, oh yeah, so that thing right there, you got to jump way down and then jump way back up. We're just gonna take that one out. So you can do that one on any of the songs we've done. You just like, if there's a note that's too far away, too far left, or too far right, and you're jumping right back, just ignore it, because this whole line right here is way, way easier. If you go B, C, G, G, F, E, like that's really easy, because that's just like those notes right there. It all kind of stays in the same little area. So anyway, that's a little secret there, little secret information. Let's find out who won the raffle. Hopefully it's you. Congratulations. Let us know what prize it is you want. Let's go to level 2.
Transitioning to level 2. This may be confusing to level 1 students, so please continue to practice the level 1 version or visit learnpianolive.com/level 2 for a detailed explanation on how to level up.
So sadly, the lesson preview has come to an end, and it's time to say goodbye to everyone watching the free streams. Of course, paying subscribers at learnpianolive.com can continue watching this lesson and several hundred others like it in the archives. So come on over and check us out. And if you like what you saw, at least like and subscribe, and then tell your friends to head on over to learnpianolive.com to start enjoying this journey with us. All right, let's take a look at the rhythms of this song. Level 2 is the exact same thing as level 1, except now it's like way scarier looking because it's got all the lines and spaces and all that stuff of the treble clef. So this is a treble clef sign. It usually means that we're going to be playing right hand. So this thing right here, if you see that, that means it's going to be mostly high notes. So we've got like that dotted eighth thing that we were talking about before. That's going to feel pretty off balance. And you need to know that this swoopy line right here is called a tie because what it does is tie two notes together. So the two notes it's tying together, these two. So, oh, it looks like a smiley face. Now it looks creepy. Sorry. There we go. Little Joker smiley face. Okay. So it's tying those two notes together. So that's actually just one big G instead of two Gs. Now it really looks like a smiley face with a lopsided head. This thing right here is an eighth note. So if you're in Clapple Academy level 2, I believe you're dealing with eighth notes. Yes, that was plenty loud. So you're already dealing with eighth notes. You know that means that those are going to be really fast notes. So these are dotted eighth notes, which I don't think you get until Clapple Academy level 3 or 4, the dotted eighth note thing. But we have more of those there and then more ties. So just watch out for the ties and the dotted eighth notes. And I think, oh, these guys right here, yeah. So if it felt like in level 1, like we got to that last line and you were like, what happened? You sped up a whole lot on those notes. That's because these guys right here, these guys have 2 bars on them. So those notes are going to be called 16th notes, which I believe you get to in Clapple Academy level 3. And so those are just going to be twice as fast as an eighth note. So this note right here, this D, is an eighth note because it's only got 1 bar. This E is a 16th note because it has 2 bars. And this E right here is a 16th note because it's got 2 bars too. One right there, one right there. Then we're back to an eighth note for those. So that's why those 3 notes, voice in the, are going to be really fast. And then un is a little bit of a pause. And then verse, the is really short there. So that's why we have voice in the universe. Little pause on un and a little pause on verse. Other than that, I don't think you need to worry about too much else. If you see anything that's not a dot and doesn't have a letter, like that, or that, then those are just rests. So that just means take a pause. If you're in Clapple Academy, level 2, I think, you deal with all of those eighth rests, quarter rests, and half rests. And if you don't want to do any of that, that's fine. We're just going to play the same thing we already played in level 1 right now. Let's go. If you're on level 1, play your version along with us. And a 2, get ready on that B. 1, 2, 3, 4. And I have wings, and I can fly around the moon and far beyond the sky. And one day soon, I know there you'll be. One small voice in the universe, one true friend of the universe who believes in me. And I actually do want to point out that on this one, I think you'd get this in Clapple Academy level 1, which probably everybody should check out level 1, even if you're not wanting to do the whole entire 12 levels, just because it's got a lot of really good like easy stuff like this. These 2 rests, this first one's a half rest, so that's going to get 2 beats, so it'd get beat 1 and 2, and this was a quarter rest, this squiggly line right here, so it's going to be beat 3, which means that this is going to come in on beat 4. Maybe none of that makes any sense. You're like, why is this guy still talking? Well, that's what Clapple was thinking, at least. Why is this guy still talking? No, this is important, though, because there's a big old long pause, and like 99% of the people who are trying to play the song think that this note is supposed to come in way, way sooner. So if you know that it comes in on beat 4, because you already know about the half rest and the quarter rest, then you can do that counting. One true friend in the universe. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then you know exactly where that F is supposed to go because it's supposed to go on beat 4. So this time I'll count it out so you can hear it. Kloppel, see it was important after all. Let's try it with the track. 1 and a 2 and a 1, 2, 3, 4. And I have wings and I can fly around the moon and far beyond the sky. And one day soon, I know there you'll be one small voice in the universe, one true friend in the universe. 1, 2, 3. Who believes in me? Yeah, see? So knowing some of that stuff might be helpful. You might want to go check out Kloppel Academy Level 1, or you might just want to go with us and check out Level 3.
Transitioning to Level 3. This may be confusing to Level 1 and 2 students. Please continue to practice your own level, or visit learnpianolive.com/level3 to understand how this level works.
All right, friends, I'm not going to lie. This is a lot of notes for a Level 3. Usually we only have like 1 or 2 or 3 notes. This is a whole lot of them. So I'm going to run through the left hand, and if this is your first time ever doing Level 3, usually it's not this difficult. You might want to go check out that before you attempt some of this stuff. But we're going to start off in an F, and that's going to be lined up with I. So right when your right hand plays I, that's when your left hand plays an F. I know that sounds absolutely horrible. That's how the song goes, though. And like that, it'll pass. So it's just a little tension right there. I have wings. And then we're going to go to a C right there. Like kind of like on the tied over part of that note. So after you play the G, you're going to hold that out. And while you're holding it out, that's when you play that C. And then you can play I can, kind of lined up with can. And then fly is lined up with that holdover right there. So the timing on this is a little bit tricky too. It would sound like this. I have wings and I can fly. So you hear like kind of that G kind of comes in between the can and the fly. And then this one comes in between the fly and the ah. Okay, but this F does get lined up with round, round the moon, and then same thing right here. This one's getting playing with that tied over note. And far beyond, yond is this E. Yond the sky. This A is lined up with the tie over from sky. And then one day soon, the C is lined up with the tie over from that soon. I know there. That one's finally lined up again. And then this E natural right here, that's what that sign is right there. That's natural sign. It means just a second ago you were playing an E flat, but this time it's not going to be a flat, it's going to be a natural. So E flat first, and then an E, and then F. This is lined up with that rest right there. So you're not going to do anything in the right hand while your left hand plays F. One small voice in the universe. And then same thing with this E. That's lined up with that rest. And then the A is lined up with friend. Yeah, I know, it's a really complicated left hand. And then right here, we've got this one comes in on beat 1. 1, 2, 3. And then, of course, this one is beat 4, just like we talked about on level 2. Who be, and then leaves is the C. So let's try this one time through with the track. You'll be able to see where the left hand is supposed to go. And of course, if you're in the archives, then make sure you pause the video and you practice along so that you can play all of these notes that you can. Join us back here to play along with us. And if you're live with us, just play all the notes you can and don't worry about the rest. Here we go. And a 2, and a 1, 2, 3, go. I have wings. Around the moon and far beyond the sky. And one day soon, I know there you'll be. One small voice in the first friend in the universe. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, and if you thought that was crazy, then you haven't seen level 4, because, well, you'll see. We got to add in some chords. Let's go.
Transitioning to level 4. This may be unsettling to lower levels. Please continue to practice your own level, or visit learnpianolive.com/level4 for an in-depth explanation on how to conquer this level.
So the left hand is a little bit more complicated than it was on level 3, but not too terribly much. We do go from an F to an E instead of an F to a C, which I think sounds a little bit better. So even if you're not going to do all the level 4 stuff, you might want to swap out that second note and just play an E if you like the sound of that. It goes, I have wings and I can fly. So it's pretty much the same thing, but it just has a pretty little E in there instead of going down to the C. But however, right there is the time for the C chord. So from there to there is when you're allowed to play C's and E's and G's. That's because that's a C chord, and the C chord is listed on the next page if you're not already familiar with it. C's and E's and G's, which means any of these notes right here are all allowed to be added in however you want during that entire section. So this is the F chord section, and this is the C chord section. If you've been here for very many lessons on level 4, you know we got way more chords here than we usually have. So that's all stuff that you're gonna add in underneath the melody in the right hand, like we describe in learnpianolive.com/level4. So the left hand stays pretty much the same. This first time through, I'm just gonna play the new left hand and not play any chord tones, and then I'll show you what it's gonna sound like if you add in some more chord tones, and if none of that made sense. Again, that's probably fine. Just work on whatever you're working on. If you're in the archives, make sure you're pausing and practicing wherever you need to, so you can get all the notes that you can. And if you're with us live, play all the notes that you can, and don't worry about the rest. And 2, and a 1, 2, 3, 4, and I have wings, and I can Okay, so that's what it sounds like if you just play the notes that are written and ignore all the chords. But if you want to throw in the chord tones because you're like that, it might end up sounding something, yikes, like this. 1, and a 2, and a 1, 2, 3, 4. Oops. Oh no. Yikes. Kloppel, can I do that one more time, please? I know that was not... Okay, I'll hurry. Sorry. I got lost in the music and was thinking about something else. That never goes well. Let's try it again. And a 2. And a 1, 2, 3, 4, and... Hey, well, that wasn't a whole lot better, but kind of gives you an idea of what you could do with some of those chords. And then if you want to do it in the original key, then we're going to have to go to level 4B or level 5.
Transitioning to level 5. This may be terrifying to lower levels. Please continue to practice your own level or visit learnpianolive.com/level5 for training on how to survive this level.
Okay, so like I was saying, if you want to go to level 4B, that's written out the exact same way, but actually in the key of E, which you can tell by the 4 sharps that are over here, especially if you're in the Kloppel Academy level 4 or higher, then you're dealing with a lot of key signatures and stuff. we've got this is written out in the key of E, same exact notes, but you could play along like with the Seussical musical soundtrack and it would sound exactly perfect. Or you could just go to level 5 and then turn all these letters into numbers. So this before was known as a C, but when we turn this into numbers, gets turned into a number 1, and then it looks a little something like this. Instead of C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C, it's going to be numbers like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 1. And then we just play the numbers that are written there. The right hand would play the yellow section, 7, 1, 5, 1, 5, 4, 3. And of course your left hand would play the purple part down there. So 4, 1, 2, 5, 1. So you play those like that. And that way we can play in the key of not C major. This should say the key of E major. That will if you're in the archives. The key of E is where this note, which we called E before, is actually number 1. And so we'd go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 1. And so then if we played those same exact numbers, but in the key of E, it would be 7, 1, 5, 1, 5, 4, 3. So it sounds like the song, and actually it sounds great when you play it along with the Seussical the musical soundtrack, but that'd be in the key of E. Everyone else has been practicing in the key of C though. So let's go back to there, where this is number 1. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 1. And if we play that along with the track, then it sounds something like this. And a 2, and a 1, 2, 3, 4, 7, 1, 5, 1, 5, 4, 3, 1, 7, 1, 5, 5, 3, 1, 7, 1, 5, 5, 6, flat 7, 1, 5. I didn't really call out the numbers at the end of that. I kind of got lost in the numbers in the notes. But anyway, you get the idea. If you've already done level 5 before, then that probably made sense. If not, go to learnpianolive.com/level5 and we'll explain how to do all the different key signatures and stuff like that. But I think that's all the notes for today, which means it's unfortunately time to say goodbye. But I want to thank the incomparable Kendra for moderating the chat room. And do we have a chat winner today?
Yes.
Lily May Pianist, great job. You'll get the points for being the chat winner today. Next week, of course, we have a new song and maybe from a new location with our new studio and our new equipment. I'm super excited about that. So till next time, good luck, explore, mess up, have fun. Hey, great, you're still here, so you must want more. Well, I've got 4 things for you: archives, practice tips, points, and jokes. First of all, if you didn't like this week's song, I'm sorry, and you can always go to learnpianolive.com/next song and vote for what our next song should be. And right now you can go to the Kids Lesson Archives and just pick a different song and work on that this week. Now you probably don't have the whole song down yet, so what you can do is, this helps a lot of people, just next time pretend that you're the in-studio student and that in level 3 and level 5 we're going to be checking in with you and you've got to play at least some of the songs. I find that my students that come in and they're the in-studio students, they actually learn the songs way faster than they learn their regular songs I give them in their regular lessons. So if you just pretend that you're the in-studio student and that someone's going to be watching you, then that might help a lot. Also, you have the practice log that you can send in for extra points, and that can help you practice. And there's the daily challenge where you get extra points for logging your practice time there as well. Just click on daily challenge and it will play a video that doesn't have any sound really. You just practice, and then every now and then you'll hear a sound like this.
The number 7.
And then once you collect all of the letters and numbers, then you just put them in and you submit that, and you get points for doing that, and you get better because in between all those letters and numbers, you're practicing your song from the week. Of course, once you know the song, then definitely record yourself on your mom's cell phone or on your tablet or on whatever, and use the video submission button, and so you can send us your video that way and get points for that as well. You might even become the featured video for the week. All right, so let's move on to points. Here's the different ways you can get points.
You can get up to 50 points just for participating in the chat in the live lesson. You get 300 points on top of that if you are the person in the chat room that week who makes the most helpful comments during the chat. That daily music challenge thing that I told you about, every day when you click on that and you submit the secret code, 150 points just for doing that. Every song comes with a practice log, and if you fill that out and have your parents sign it and you send that in, that's worth 300 points right there. Each week on Facebook and in the email that we send you, we give you a new weekly activity. It's just a fun little maze or puzzle or something to do. It doesn't really have much to do with music, but it does have something to do with that week's song, and it has something to do with getting you 150 points. Then if you click on survey at the end of the lesson and you fill that out and give us some feedback about the song, then we've given out up to 500 points before for great comments and feedback in the survey. Of course, submit your videos of you playing. Almost every video that gets submitted earns at least 200 points, even if it's not perfect. I guess work on it a little bit, but I'm just saying it doesn't have to be perfect. Here's another one. Every single month at learnpianolive.com/contest, we have a contest and usually give out at least 400 points, and oftentimes there are other gift cards and other prizes included in that contest. Okay, now we're getting into some big numbers. If you ever go to a concert that is classical music or it's classic jazz, which means like swing and bebop and stuff like that, you can ask your parents if it's a classic jazz concert. Then you get 500 points just by having your parents let us know what concert you attended. Now I keep asking you to send us your videos, and almost always you get points right up front for submitting those videos. Don't forget to put the legal disclaimer on your video. You have to say at the beginning, this is for use at kidlearnpianolive.com. But here's an additional way to pick up 750 points. If later on, a month down the road, a year down the road, 5 years down the road, if one of the videos that you submit to us ever gets 1,000 views, send us the link to your video. We will give you 750 points. Okay, but is there anything that I could do that's worth thousands of points? Yes, there is. If you're in Klopple Academy, every time you go from level 1 to level 2, or level 2 to level 3, every single time you level up, you get 3,000 points. And that's not even the biggest one. You get 5,000 points every single time someone signs up for kidslearnpianolive.com and they say that you are the one who sent it here. Okay, last thing before I say goodbye. For real, I told you that I would tell you my favorite joke, and here it is. A butcher backs up into his meat grinder and gets a little behind in his work. Gets a little behind in his work because he's a butcher. It's funny, trust me, it's awesome. If you didn't think it was funny, that's fine. But go to learnpianolive.com/jokes and you can see some of our students' favorite jokes and you can submit your own. I think that's finally it. I will see you in another live lesson. Love ya. Good luck. Have fun.